Welcome to my humble office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. And this is a day in the office on January 10th, 2026. And I have no idea how many people I'm going to be working with today. We will find that out as we go along. In the meantime, I simply have to get things organized here to ensure that I actually stay on track. What is that? Watch this. That's going to pop it out of line. Hopefully I'm still alive. I am. Good. My cable went a little sideways there. Yesterday was rough to say the least when I came to the realization that the people that are in control of this world are almost unilaterally problematic. And actually, it's not the people, it's the system. Okay. I was looking for some information, just an answer regarding something. Everybody either says, I don't know what that is, it's somebody else's fault, or they want a lot of money up front before the answer. Operation, how you doing? You are in with the gold. The reality is I still have to play things by ear to figure out where I'm standing. In order to get things accomplished. But I have come to a few conclusions. Not the least of which, I've already talked to my family about it. I am doing things my way. Okay. And rest assured, that does mean I will be doing things. I will follow the law, don't get me wrong, because I got no interest in the added complications. But this is literally where I simply putter and get my jobs done. And then I'll figure it out as I go along. I think that's all garbage. That is. So from my standpoint, who do we got? Hey, Susan, how you doing? You are in with Silver. And again, people, remember, I will answer questions. I'll answer them honestly. I don't exactly have a format here. Primarily because, I don't desire to bother with it. Because this is the way my office works. I just do things as I'm going along and figure it out on the way. So if I seem to be getting up and down a lot, that'd be why. The reality of it is this. If I don't get things in order, what the heck is that? Really? I guess that's as far as it comes, so I guess we should leave it at that. I think that's a good idea. So pull that forward. These are the blank files. Oh, I know what I got to do there. What I did was picked up a whole pile of new files so I could turn around and actually eliminate the excess clutter. And you'll see how that goes. Because like I said, when I talk about tools that I work with, when I suggest them, it's because they're already working for me. I can't see the point in striving to get people to do things if they're not working for me either. So we'll see how that all works. That will be the rest of those files. Now, I will do my best to keep an eye on what's going on in the chat room, because that way, if somebody does something or says something, I at least have the option. Me, how we doing? Glad you could join us. You are in with the Bronx today. Now, gotta shift gears for half a second. Do I have that open? Go to debt. Okay, today is now. Where are we here? How much? See, when you're working with finances, okay. Today is 10th. When you're working with finances, now I don't know about on your bills, But this is a grocery bill, and it was the store I go to. It tells me how much money I save on each, when I've gone and bought something. And the reality is, if you don't put that money in an actual savings account, okay, then what you end up with is you're not actually saving the money. So I do that, and then keep track of it, and that takes care of that. We use that. We go minimize that, and I'm back to where I was. Whoa! Close the door for half a second. I like this. Now, me was in with the bronze, so woo, you are in with the honorable mention. How you doing? And Joe, I am so happy to see you back. We are back now, quite seriously, we are back as often as possible. Well, more to the point, Friday through Tuesday, because I'm still taking my Wednesday, Thursday off. I know that's in the middle of most people's work week, but it works best for me. I should actually have eyeballs on so I can see what I'm looking at. Oh, there we go. And Donna C, how we doing? Glad you could join us. When I've got my savings on my Excel sheet. I keep a record of what I've done and what I've got set aside for savings. Now, I had to pull out of it and pull a lot out of it last year in order to just keep a roof over my head. This year is changing. Okay. Like this year is changing very nicely. What am I looking at here? No. That's always nice. I cannot see what's going on. That's okay. But, like I said, I pulled money out of my savings account to ensure that it is, that I've got the savings put aside. It's for down the road, by the way. Where is that? That didn't work well. So, as I said, I do move around a fair chunk, but you will find if you operate yourself in a job where you're sitting down, getting up is extremely necessary. Come in here. What I got? Past lives, Posifer. Let's go before that. Okay. Yes, I know. I was going to put Posifer out at the end of last month. Well, last year came out a little scrambled, to say the least. Okay, now, I did log out of that, so I don't need that one open. Look at that. Whole pile of things. It was sad when I was looking at it yesterday, and this is what threw me offline. Is I turned around. I turned around on what I was doing. And when I did that, I found out that much as I was doing my best to make things work, the rest of society was not cooperating quite so much. Now, what do I got here? Can't see a thing with my glasses on anymore. But I do have the optometer set up. So he's going to give me a call near the end of the month so I can actually get things done. That's what I was looking for. Now, let's see. What do we got? Okay. Now, the first rule of thumb to get this all working, like I've got literally 15 feet of desk when you include my bookshelf for stock. Okay. So I've got it set up, but it's all clear aside from what I'm directly working on right now. Now, this. Oh, yes. That's got to be added, but I can't do that. Like while I'm on here, I get things organized, but the typing and what have you, I tend to do afterwards. Oh, me. Oh, that's what I forgot to do today. Thank you so much for that. Let's get that up and running. Anyway, before I do that, let's pop this in here while I do that. If we go to, well, yeah, I definitely have to do that. Anyway, I've actually got 8 books that are written, that are already up on for grabs. Let me see if I can find out where we are. Oh, yeah, I will give you that in 10 seconds. And next time, I gotta do this properly. Whoop. Buy me a coffee. There. That is what I require there. Now, this is the way to answer this question easiest. This link, okay, this link here is the one. If you go to this link, you will find all 8 of the books I've written. Okay, I've got 2 science fiction, science fantasy, depending on who you talk to. I've got 3 self-help, 2 children's, and a we'll try English now, and a UFO reference manual. Let's see, pin that there. If you go to the top of the chat room, you'll find that. Okay, now let me just double check here. Okay, now the answer to the other question there, is I've already read the Christian Bible. Okay, cover to cover. I am currently about halfway through reading the Book of Mormon. Okay, when I get done, and I've already finished the first 7 books of a nature encyclopedia. Yeah, some pretty dry reading, really. I'm about halfway through reading volume 8. Now, Joe, you have an interesting question here. I have a big question to ask. Can I still do my dreams and writing them down without the use of Facebook? My mom had me permanently delete mine yesterday, and I miss it. Absolutely. Joe, I don't know what programs you've got. I personally use Word. Okay. So you can absolutely do it. Now, the reality for me is I literally take a sheet of paper. Right here. Now, I do a daily journal. Okay. You got to remember, we had written work way before the internet was ever invented. Okay. Now, with that in mind, understand writing down your dreams is for you extremely important. Okay. And it has, as we both know, it's been very beneficial for you. And I do strongly recommend people do this. And remember, guys, when it comes to dreams, write down what you remember. Even if all you remember when you wake up is that you were dreaming, write it down. Okay. By writing it down, what you do is lock it into your mind. And if all you remember is, oh, I remember running, write it down. Okay, that will likely help trigger the actual memory. This is recycling, all of it. But I literally, with my journal, I write it down on paper and then get it transcribed. Hey, look at the bright side, my dreams are usually body counts. You know, intriguingly enough, when I have a dream about a body count, I tend to wake up a lot more relaxed. Bad combination when you think about it. So do yourself a favor and don't think about it. Fact of the matter is, dreams are extremely beneficial where it comes to keeping tabs on what you're feeling. Because what they do is they help do a lot of things, not the least of which is clear the negative energy or the dangerous thought processes, or they may give you some insight into what's coming. Now, I meant to tie that off. When I get done reading the Book of Mormon, I've already got a copy of the Teachings of Buddha that I will be reading. And this is why, for those of you that are really caught up on the whole thing, I do not subscribe to any one belief, because what I found is they're all linked. And since I've been around for this many centuries, I find links in all of them. Now, that's a list. And now, the list method works like an absolute charm. Right now, what do I got going on here? Striving to actually get my office sorted around properly. Or more to the point, keep it that way. What is this? That is... Oh, that's what that was. Okay. Now, no, we don't do that. That would be bad. I am kind of curious how many people I got here. I did not go into that, so let's go to YouTube and see what it says. If we go there, we'll get the other stream of YouTube up and running. That way I can check numbers. Just because I'm curious, in all fairness. Now, search that. And yeah, I had to switch off screens again. There we are. And we are sitting right now at 705. This is good. We've held that solid for a few days now. Now it's just a question of getting it to grow. Well, since I've checked that, I'll leave that sit. I don't have to worry about it. Okay. But you take your office. That is the brain of any home, any business, is the office. That's where you work on whatever your finances are or planning. Now, in my case, and yeah, there's my salt. That's in case I run into a hiccup. I make absolutely certain that what I'm working with has a backbone. All of this has to be dealt with. What was that? Okay. Needless to say, if you're working in an office, the more organized it is, the better off you are. Okay. Now, many of you may overlook one critical factor. I talk about the office. This is my home, this is my master bedroom at the same time. Okay. In any home, and this is the real critical thing to keep in mind, your home life is the number one business in the world. Okay. You don't have to be selling something for it to be a business. Treat your home, treat the whole setup that you've got going on as though it literally is your lifeblood. Because I kid you not, it's kind of a necessary setup. Okay. If you're not running your home properly, you're going to run into hiccups. Now, what I did, because of the running I had yesterday, okay, I ended up shutting things down for last night, but I had to get my head on straight, and I finally figured out what the problem was. That is, it finally dawned on me, if I'm going to, or more to the point, since I'm going to build an empire, regardless of what's going on, I had to go, okay, no more of this playing games and striving to fit in. I don't. Okay, this has become blatantly obvious. Okay, now, this neat little thing is the sheet that I'm using, the binder I'm using, so I can plan 2026 properly. Okay, there's a couple of things that are coming into balance really nicely. Okay, and I'll be working on some of them. Well, realistically, all of them after this. I'm just getting organized right now. Where are we? Oh, first rule of thumb. And my older brother, here's the thing. Well, try that again. Here's the thing, Joe. My older brother, he passed away when he was 50, so that was about a decade ago. Well, 52, I think. Okay, but he told me something very profound. He goes, "Look, mom and dad, when we were tiny, used to encourage us to be absolutely independent thinkers. Get them an idea and go with it and work on it. But as you get older, and as they got older, they would argue the point of whatever you were doing, striving to get them back on track with you. Now, I'm not going to tell you what's the best road. I will tell you that Facebook has problems. I still use it. Okay. Of course, I've got that little bonus come, not so much so. My parents are both dead. Okay. Intriguingly enough, I spend a lot more time talking to them now than I did when they were alive. But they look at the internet, I suspect, as many people do, as though Facebook is a problem. And there's a lot of potential problems. But it depends on how you use it. This said, do what you will with it. Okay. If you permanently deleted it, I have no clue how to get the information off it. Okay. But this is what's called 20/20 hindsight percent, probably. But where it comes to your dream journals, okay, turn them into hard copy or into soft copy on your computer without going on the net. Like I said, I write mine by hand and then I get it transcribed. My wife is actually, Kara is actually my wife, my executive assistant, my editor, and she is a member of my board of advisors. I did say I was after the best of the best. Okay. So the biggest problem that you're running into is your mom and dad, in all likelihood, do not really adapt well to the new world. And it really boils down to you've got to forge your own path. Okay, and yes, I know that's going to upset some people. Okay, matter of fact, I'm banking on it. I think part of me is anyway. Okay, now here's a neat little point for you. Okay, and this is something I came to understand. Blood, there's an old saying that goes, blood is thicker than water. It absolutely is. Okay, there's no question. Test it out. I mean, I recommend doing it in small quantities, but, do what you will. But water will dilute blood. Okay, when you're looking at family that you choose to have around you that you're not related to, okay, that kind of family tends to be a little bit more fluid, oddly enough. But I find that with that, I actually get a lot more support from my chosen family, and intriguingly enough, from creditors than I do from my own bloodline. Okay. And I know if they listen in on this, they're going to go, "What do you mean I don't support you?" I'm not going into that here, but thanks very much. Now, what have I got? That is the income that I've got to double check. Whoop, that works well. Holy mackerel. Gravity works. This is a good thing. Although there is a young lass in the States that does actually claim that we are running out of gravity, which I find entertainingly fascinating. Let me go back to this little thing here. And when was this? This was... Oh, look at that. I did not save any money on that run. So, didn't have to worry about that too much. The neat part about it is so many people take a look at what they're going through or what their intentions are, and they aim at doing the same thing I did. Okay, let's make everybody else happy and overlook our own well-being. So I quit doing that. That won't be of any use. Nope. Here we are now. That was when? January 6th. Okay, like I said, this is literally a question of puttering around to make sure that I actually do what I have to. So I do end up shifting out of sync with the stream momentarily, but that way I can actually turn around and go, okay, here's where I'm after. There we go. Now we save that and we minimize that, and we're back where we belong. See, by having my office sorted around properly, I can think a little more clearly, which is odd because I question whether I think at all half the time. Now, while I am putting, where is it? I wonder if we've got them up and running. There we are. Concurrently, while I am putting positive perspectives, the January edition together, I'm also enhancing a few books I'm in the middle of writing. Numerology. What is it now? Numerology enhanced, in an enhanced interpretation. Okay, that will be hitting the market as soon as I get it done. But in all fairness, because of the way I'm doing it, it's going to literally be a year before it comes out. Because I'm only doing one month or one number a month. Or yeah, one number a month. I've got a whole pile of stuff I'm working on with Inner Voice itself. And what is this one? That is Meet the Wolfpack. Now the Wolfpack is the protagonist group that runs right throughout the Elderbachian Chronicles. Well, members of them do. And of course, Races of the Worlds. And that, again, I'm aiming, because I just gave up on the idea of saying, this is when I'll have the book done. Right, but because of the way that I'm having to deal with it, what I'm doing now is going, okay, I'll work on it and let people know as it comes to be. Now, this is intriguing. This is a business card, a free Bible course. Sadly, most of the people that teach these haven't read the Bible. Okay, in my case, I've read it cover to cover. Now, what is this? Oh. What? Oh, okay, I will have to do that later. That ain't getting done today. These can be destroyed. Again, I write on a lot of scrap paper to make sure I don't end up with it. This is all information's got to go away. I appreciate that, Susan. Now, Susan just said she loves her book. Now, I am working on the second edition. Now, here's the neat little part. I can't give you a price on it because I will tell you, my initial intention was overstated by one reason. The first edition, literally has bonus. Okay. The second edition includes pictures, more information on the individual races and connections. It also leads you down the road of going, okay, Here's the different races. If you watch for it, I will have, not for every one of them, but the booklets will, all the little booklets will come out with, and called Meet the Whatever It Is, whichever race. Now, not every race will have one, but I am working on a lot of them all at the same time. Now I'm working on a couple of ideas on how to compensate for that, because the reality is, those of you that have bought the initial version, you guys are the ones that are helping make things happen. And here's a neat thing. I spent tens of thousands of dollars on marketing programs, marketing companies that swore they would help me with my sale. I didn't get so much as a single inquiry from any of them, and I mean combined. However, working with Buy Me a Coffee, last year, I sold, between books and consulting fees, I sold in excess of $1,000. Not great for a business, but better than what I was doing. Okay. Now, the original one, the original races of the world. Okay. This one has, where are we here? It has 62 pages, 60 different races. Okay. Each of which I've literally, and you get to do it in what you will with this concept, each of those races I've literally dealt with. Okay. Second edition jumps by a staggering 60 pages more because of included enhanced information and pictures. Now, before somebody comes up with this idea, no, I did not get photographs. Okay. I managed to, over the years, and I'm not about to try and track it down now, I did end up getting a photograph of a Pleiadian hybrid on Earth. That was done about 10, where are we? We're 25, 26 now. So that would have been about 13 years ago. Now, just going back to this, Joe, Joe says the 30-day grace period hasn't ended yet. So my Facebook account is still there, not permanently deleted just yet. So I could still recover it and make changes to it without upsetting my parents. And this is going to sound really bad, Joe, but it's one that I had to dump on my parents. My parents used to ask me how I managed to get into the financial bind that I did. And I finally had to tell them, look, you keep asking that, I'll drop off the map. Now, where it comes to your parents, you're going to have to do what you will. But remember, you don't have to tell them every single thing that you're doing. This is not a question of having hidden information or keeping things from them. This is literally a question of making certain that when you're dealing with things, you don't invite a complication. Okay. And your parents are not going to understand your attachment to it. I use Facebook in spite of all the things I've been told. Okay. And in spite of what people tell me. In spite of what people insinuate about the owner and creator of Facebook, it still serves my purpose. Yes, they're making money. Okay. And something I am bringing up to speed here is this. I just got to go over here to get it. Okay. Like I said, tens of thousands of dollars with marketing companies didn't do me a plug nickel of good. Okay. Except taught me don't rely on them. Now, this is what I call my Wombox. Word of mouth advertising. This is where I keep people's emails. This is where I keep people's addresses so I can ship them out. And rest assured, this is card files. This is not a zip drive. Some of you, people around my age, maybe a little younger, remember these things. cardstock works like a charm. But there's not a computer hacker on the planet that can hack my database because it's not on the computer. Yes, I do have addresses because I use Facebook, because I use Yahoo. There are addresses I send stuff to. But I don't have a list that says, here's a quick fix, fire it off. I'm a firm believer. Hands-on works way better. Now, what is it? Oh. These ones are torn, which means I've already gone through them. And this way, I can shred the paperwork so I don't have to worry about it. Probably should have checked something on that, but I didn't. And now, frankly, it's a little late. I just came to the conclusion that if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to recommend that people follow something, I best be making certain I'm doing. This is why I call myself a spiritual guide. Okay? Because the tools I offer are literally the same tools I use. What is this? Nope. Don't require that. So what I'm doing, I've got a shredder right down here. That's what you keep hearing go off. Now this has information on it that may yet require. There we go. Now, with the relaunch of Positive Perspectives, which is a free magazine, only comes by email, only comes on request. Okay, by request. Meaning, if you desire a copy of it, if you go to the link at the top of the screen, that says buymeacoffee.com, you'll find where to ask for Positive Perspectives. Okay, I'm the only writer there for the moment. Although you will find, well, I've already decided, I will take submissions by people. The fact of the matter is, I cover a number of things in it. Okay, the paranormal, entertainment, aliens, etc., career, and economics. But I do it by my own design. That's my writing side of things. And what is this? This is necessary to get put together. Okay. Now, where am I here? Okay. Joe, if you're still floating around, I personally would suggest reactivating it so you don't, reactivating your Facebook account so you don't lose the information that's already there. Okay. Here we are. See, there is a lot to do with the past. The fact of the matter is, nobody can change what you've done in the past, not a person. Okay? All you can do is go, okay, the past is what brought me to where I am. Now I've got to move forward. Okay? And by moving forward, you will be able to actually get on track. And this is why I look at the miscalculations I personally made and go, I'm not holding myself back anymore. It just doesn't work well. So I figure if I quit holding myself back, one of the biggest miscalculations I've made, and staggering numbers of people have made the same mistake or same miscalculation, where they literally have tried to make other people happy. Honestly, from my experience, it doesn't work well. You cannot make other people happy by making yourself miserable. At least, I should say, I've never seen it work. I've seen a lot of people go through things and go, I'm going to stop doing that to make everybody else happy. Well, tell you, every time I've tried that, it's backfired in a massive way. Now, somebody out there is going to look at it and go, well, you don't know, it might work this time. True, it could. But given that I've got well over 100,000 clients under my belt, I'm thinking the odds of it working well are not great. Now, this is my clipboards I use for all kinds of notes while I'm working away. Intriguingly enough, by doing what I do, I can actually get things organized rather well, I think. And absolutely, like I said, if you have a question, just pop it in there. You'll see if you look up the chat room, the chat line, you'll see that some people have done that. Now, I don't get a lot of people in here, not in a day in the office. But then, let's face it, I putter and babble away. Tonight's the 10th. We will be looking at On Positive Perceptions, which is 8 p.m. Pacific. Okay. We right here on YouTube. We will be talking about alien medical technology. Much of this information is included in Races of the World 2nd edition. This is one of the things I ended up adding. Okay, where am I here? So last night, we're just going to move that down the road here. Let's see, Friday. Udina, so we go the following Friday. Let's do that. Let's take this one. We'll copy that. Move it to Friday the 23rd so I don't have to rearrange everything. And that did. Oh, I copied that. I should not have copied that. I should have cut it out, but that's okay. And we do this. We go F2. Stop. Sorry, not English. There we are. Move to January 23rd. Okay. So tonight we will be dealing with alien technology. On Sunday, we're going to look at language, its impact on mental health. Then Monday, we'll be looking at sharing expenses. Why do it? Because we were to look at finances on Monday. Tuesday, we look at self-help, and we will be going to the impact of wardrobe and bearing in the modern world. And it's just, in all fairness, it's just like it was in the earlier years. Joe. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Joe, I understand that. Worst case scenario, get back on it and pull the information that you got on it. Save it however you can. Do not ask me the tech side of it. Okay, when it's safe to do so, get back onto it. Pull all the information you can so you don't lose it. Okay, this would be my biggest concern in your shoes. Okay, I mean you've got a lot of information that has helped you immensely, and could conceivably help other people depending on what you do with it. This is why I look at that side of it. Now, see, while I've been talking to you guys, I can go over that. I managed to get this desk completely cleared of all the excess. That stuff got to be moved into its own files. I think that's part of it. Yep. What's left here when I get done the stream will get shifted into its own soft copies. But that clears the first, whoops, that one. Yep. It's got to go there because I'm not ready to cancel it out yet. And there we are. So this is working quite well. The neat part about it is when I decided I was going to come back here, and put the day in the office. This is literally how I function. Okay. Now, this is a binder, and I've got another. Where is it? This is the original layout for Innervoice's corporate superstructure. At this point, I showed you this earlier. I'm moving it for 2026 into a binder. Okay, but it's going to be done one step at a time. Pens, pencils, that sort of thing. What is that? Oh, that's done. That did not work as well as I would have liked. So, the neat part about all of this is I've come to the conclusion that if I build things the way I desire to build them, okay, stick within legal parameters, I will be able to put things on mark properly. The honest reality of it, Joe. Oh, that's the easy part. And some people will say, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." Probably. Okay, this number that I'm showing you is literally the one I use for consulting. Well, it's my business phone. But might be an idea if I can spell properly. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Joe, in your case, you've been around for a very long time. And it's literally because of you because of you and certain other individuals that said I should do it. But it is because of you that I picked the time frame I did. Now, this number, do us both a favor. Before you utilize it, text me and let me know who it is. Okay? Because if I don't know the number, even if I've got a couple of moments, answering it may be a bit of a problem. I don't have an answering company for me. Okay? It's that simple. And the other thing to keep in mind, especially for anybody grabbing that number and contacting me, if I schedule a consultation on it, then I will absolutely focus on what I'm doing. If it's just a phone call, the odds are I'm still going to be doing several other things at the same time because that's the way I work. Now, I know some people are going to look at it and go, why would you put your personal number there? Well, here's the reason. I'm building an empire. Okay. In spite of all the complications I've run into and the people that have not helped when they said they would, I've never used a pseudonym. Well, that's not entirely true. When I was working the psychic fairs, I was actually the other psychics I worked with called me the Celestial Prophet because, well, number one, showmanship has something to do with it. Number two, I do everything from astrology to stone reading. Okay, so they just dropped that into my lap. Now, I've been doing psychic consultancy since I was 10 years old, professionally, as in generating an income since I was 23. So the reality is, I do things my way. I never hid behind it. It's like, this is who I am. It's also, by the way, why I don't have a large circle of friends and have wiped out a lot of friendships. They couldn't deal with it. Don't ask me why. Somebody else gets to figure that one out. Okay. That said, like I said, text first. If you leave me a message, the odds are I'm never going to get to it because I get so many scam emails or scam text messages and what have you. I just don't check my messages. But if you drop me a text message, I don't go into my voicemail because I'm tired of picking up and going and it's saying, "Oh, we're offering you this thing, and call us so we can get some of your money." Ain't gonna happen. Okay. One thing I came to understand is I know how to write the contracts I require. So from here on, I will be writing out a contract, taking it to a lawyer, getting them to make it completely legal and completely bindable, and then carry forward. But I'm designing it the way I desire because I'm done with that side of it. The reality is, um, you know, most of the time I'm up during the day. Like I get up, I do my best to be up and on the go by about 7 in the morning. You know, but do I have a static? This is definitively when the office is. Not a prayer. I got way too much going on to try and pin it down in a small angle. Okay, but that said, and like I said, Joe, you are a very different situation. But I can sort that out with you when you do get around to calling. The one thing to remember, people, karmic law is simple. You must be true to you first. Okay, this simply put means that you absolutely have to take a look at things. And what do I got here? You absolutely have to take a look at things and go, okay, what is it that is making me content? Okay, if you're not content, there is an interesting little hiccup here. Okay, and I found this across the board. Unless you're content with the way your life is going, you're going to end up spending, in all likelihood, more money trying to convince yourself you're happy than you ever would if you just went, I'm not content with my life. Now, I'm looking at my world and my industry, okay, my business going, I'm building what I desire to. Okay, many people have told me I'm expecting too much. Probably. I'm looking at building a global empire. Okay, now some time ago, and I forget who it was I was talking to, was somebody in the chat room on Positive Perceptions, which again comes tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific. Okay, somebody in that room months ago now, I think, came out and told me flat out, I told them I was going global. And the person goes, Keith, you already are global. Okay. And I looked at it and went, he's right. So now what I've got is with Positive Perceptions and Positive Perspectives, okay, as well as the as well as my Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay, that's where I'm operating from. I am drawing a contract up so that people that desire to sell my books and what have you actually have a way of dealing with it. But I am not spending, and this is literally for those of you going, oh, if you give me X number of dollars, I can help you spread word. Not going to happen. Simple as that. Not gonna. Okay. And for those of you that go, well, you can't turn around and paint everybody with the same paintbrush. I keep telling people I'm lazy. I use a bucket. Okay. And I just go, virtually everybody falls under the same category. Okay. Prove me otherwise. Now, in your case, Joe, you have been there since the get-go. Okay. And it was literally because I had to move things around and that it was a little late for you that I backed it up to the 4 o'clock mark. And of course, last year I was running 2 hours. This year I only run the 1. Okay. But I still end up working, quite often, almost 24/7 when I'm awake. But I sleep at real stupid hours. You know, and I mean, that's just the way my life has been going. But I'm quite happy with the way my head is working right now, which is why I turned around and went, this is what the boundaries are for me. Okay. I just don't see the point anymore in striving to do things the way everybody says they have to be done. Take a look at the way the world is. It's not being run well. Why emulate that? Okay. Why take the time to build my company the way everybody else is building theirs if their systems have massive flaws that I can easily spot? Okay. If I know it's a flaw, why replicate it? This is why I operate the way I do. Now, we are down to under 5 minutes. So, as per usual, I do want to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with us tonight. Really appreciate it. I do look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I only run a day in the office from Friday through Tuesday. My weekend is Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. So if my weekend is Wednesday, Thursday, I will guarantee family and what have you comes first. The phone is the last thing I pay much attention to. You know, just so you're aware, if you're calling, you know, the reality is Wednesday and Thursday, the odds are not good. Okay. But I do my best to answer phone calls this year. Last year, I'd look at them going, I don't know you, I'm not answering. But now it's like, okay, I don't know who you are, so I answer, tell you who I am. You go, this is who I am. If I don't want to talk to you, I'll hang up on you. It's kind of funny. It works that way really well. Okay. Now, with this in mind, we're down under the 5, so I do want to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with us tonight. Really appreciate it. I will be back at 8 p.m. Pacific, okay, for Positive Perceptions, back here. And then, of course, I'll be here again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for a day in the office. With that in mind, until we speak again, do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive. Eternity, I see you there. Nice to see you. And I hope to see you again tomorrow, or tonight for that matter. Okay? Anyway, do take care of yourselves, people. All the best.